everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and today I want to talk about Bruno. In my Meet My Pets video, the last video that I put, also my heater is on. My heater is on again. I don't know if it's any louder because I am in a slightly different place than before. Hopefully it's not too bad. But in this video I want to talk about Bruno. I mentioned in my Meet My Pets videos that he lives alone. He usually lives up there. I kind of just wanted to give him his video to explain why, because it's definitely not normal for guinea pigs to live by themselves. So I want to kind of explain how we got to this part, or how we got to this of him living by himself and him being completely okay with it. It is definitely up to your pig whether they want to live by themselves. You should never really subject your pig to living by themselves if there's no need for it. But with Bruno, there was definitely a need to separate him. So I adopted Bruno back in, I want to say 2015 or 16. It was maybe a year after I had gotten Hades and Zeus. And I went into the pet store to get them something, and I saw him in the adoption section. They said that he was up for adoption because he's a good boy. They said that he was up for adoption because he was picked on by the other pigs on the pet floor. And usually what happens is, if an animal is sick or they get picked on, they get into a fight and they need some kind of treatment or separation, usually the animal that is separated does not then go back out on the pet floor, at least in our stores. Instead, they go up for adoption in their adoption section. And that's what happened with him. And I saw him there by himself and I thought he was adorable, so I brought him home and he lived with Zeus and Hades successfully. He was a young pig. He was a baby at the time, so he got on with Zeus and Hades pretty well. So he got on with them pretty well, and it wasn't until I got Driz that things didn't go so well. And it's probably to be expected for male guinea pigs. Living together is pretty uncommon. It worked for a while, but they did have to be separated. Driz did get sick, so he had to be separated anyway. And then Hades kind of got fed up with Bruno. Bruno, he was always very good with Zeus, but as I said, I think I mentioned in my last video, Zeus and Hades were already bonded and I wasn't going to separate them at all. So he lived in the middle. I had a divider down the middle, and Driz lived on one side and Bruno lived on the other for a while until Driz got better. And then I decided to get Driz a friend because he was way more social than Bruno was. And when he was completely well again, I realized that he would have benefited from a friend a lot. So I got Pan for Driz. And then a couple days later I decided to try getting a friend for Bruno as well, because the only pigs at that time that he had tried being with were Zeus and Hades and Driz, obviously. So I thought that maybe a different pig would be successful with him. So I went out and I got Wolf, who you've met, and it worked for a little while. They got on okay, but by this time I think Bruno was at least a year old when I started introducing new animals or new guinea pigs to him. So he was, or going on for at least a year. So he wasn't old, but he wasn't a very young. He wasn't old, and he also wasn't a baby, so I don't know if that affected anything. But I got Wolf and it worked for a little while. But then Bruno just started picking on him. It was never the pig that I introduced to Bruno that was a problem. It was always him starting things. To get territorial. He would never show any dominance over another pig. He's never done that. He just gets annoyed and shows like the beginnings of a fight. So it's never really been, I don't think, a territorial problem, or sorry, it's never been a dominance problem, because I keep knocking this, because I think he's always been like a top pig with whoever he's with. I think it is more of a space problem. After Wolf didn't work out, I obviously got Wolf a new friend, and that's when I came home with Odin and Tyr. I didn't plan that, but I decided to try all them three together. But Wolf took to Tyr instead of Odin. So I decided, okay, let's try Odin and Bruenor. Maybe Wolf just wasn't the one. So I put Odin in with Bruenor, and again it worked for a little while. At this point, Bruenor and Odin had a full 6x2 space. Again, it worked for a while, and I figured that if something would go wrong in a space like that, then it wasn't a space issue, because that's a pretty big space for 2 guinea pigs. That's a nice size. But it did go wrong. So I separated them again, and Odin got a friend, and I don't know what it was in me that figured, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 pigs don't work, let's try a 5th one. Usually you figure that 3 times the charm, and if it's not, you kind of stop. But no, I had it ingrained in me, or I kept thinking over and over that guinea pigs are social animals, they need their friends. So that was always my thought when I looked at Bruno by himself and he didn't have a friend. I didn't know whether it was something that I was doing wrong, whether it was just the pigs that I was getting just weren't a good match for him. So I decided to try it one more time, and I told myself that if this one didn't work, then Bruno must just prefer being by himself. So I got Nox, and again it worked for a little while. Again, they were in a 6x2 space. They had a lot of room, and this was the most successful pairing. I think Bruno could have lived with Nox, but it wouldn't have been very peaceful, and I don't think it would have been very happy. They never fought. Bruno did get annoyed at times, but because the space was so big, it was easy enough for them to just run away and ignore each other for a while. But it wasn't an optimal relationship, I guess. It wasn't something that I think either of them fully enjoyed. I don't think they could appreciate each other's company that other pairs could. So I think there was one night where they were about to start their first like real fight. So I put a divider up and I separated them, and I decided to put Nox in with Odin and Navi, who at the time and still were like my calmest pigs. I figured that they'd be the most accepting, and they were. The trio works very well. As I said in the last video, they work very, very well together. They're very happy. And I said no more to getting Bruno friends. So I decided to just keep him by himself. And I think it's more we project our feelings onto our animals sometimes, and I think that's what I was doing with Bruno. I would see him and I would just assume that he was lonely or he didn't look very happy, but I mean, he's a pig. You know, I mean, this is what he always looks like. So it was just me telling myself that he was lonely and that he needed a friend, when in actuality everything he was telling me was that no, I don't want a friend, I actually prefer being by myself. And I finally listened to him. So he lives up there. He has a slightly smaller cage. It's a 3 3x2. Yeah, it's a 3x2 cage, which is slightly smaller, but he is one pig. It could be extended over another foot, so it could be a 4x2, like what my 2 pairs over there have. But for him, it actually does him very well. He has everything that he needs. He gets all the attention that he wants from me. He is still in very close proximity to other guinea pigs, so he can hear them. I think that is an important factor for him being as happy as he is by himself, is that he can still hear other pigs. I mean, the room is filled with them, so he knows that they exist. He knows that there are other guinea pigs around him. He just doesn't have to deal with them in his space. So I think maybe, or it could just be making it up, but I think that might be an important factor as to why he is so content by himself. The biggest giveaway to a happy pig is if you see them popcorning. And Bruno never really used to do that a lot when he was with another guinea pig, but ever since he's been by himself, he does it so much. It's rare that he won't do it at least a few times a day. And that is the ultimate show of, yes, your guinea pig is very happy, your guinea pig is very content. And obviously if they keep eating normally, that is also a good indicator. If your guinea pig becomes reserved in themselves, or stops eating or doesn't eat as much, then it's probably an indication if they're by themselves. Maybe they've lost a friend, or you only have one for whatever bizarre reason. If there's any behavioral changes, they become more reserved or they don't eat as much, it's probably a good indication that they're not very happy. And if you don't see them popcorn really, then that's another indication that maybe they're not too happy. Every guinea pig is different. Some popcorn way more than others. Babies do it way more often than adults do. But even with older pigs, you should still see some little displays of happiness. And you will know your pig best as well, so it's important to pay attention and just listen to what your pig is trying to tell you. I mean, Bruno was trying to tell me that he wanted to live by himself this whole time, and I only listened to him after trying to get him to bond with however many pigs I did. But make sure that you listen to what your animal is trying to tell you. It's really important for their happiness. And for your sake. I mean, I ended up with way more guinea pigs than I intended, and I'm okay with that. I love all of them, but I got this many because I was trying to make this guy happy how I thought he would be, or how I expected guinea pigs to be happy, if that makes sense. I was trying to fit him with the general behavior of, or the general demeanor, or the general idea of how guinea pigs are happy, but he is just the exception to the rule, and there are other guinea pigs out there that will prefer to be by themselves. It's definitely not normal, but it's not as uncommon as maybe you expect. But that is why my little pumpkin here lives by himself. He is very happy. No, it is not cruel. In any other circumstance, maybe it might be a little nasty to keep a pig by himself, but for him in particular, it's not cruel, it's not nasty. It's actually the best thing for him. So I hope maybe this video is a little bit informative. It was more of just letting you guys know how we got to this point. If you are experiencing a similar thing with your pigs, I would say persevere as much as you can to get them bonded with another pig, but if it just doesn't work, then maybe they are okay by themselves. You just have to make sure that they get enough attention from you, because they won't be getting it from anywhere else. So you have to give a little more time to your little loners. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't think it was too long today, maybe, but have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching, guys. Goodbye.